Welcome back to Normal Baseball. We are 2 games into the 2023 World Series, and the series is tied at 1 game apiece. We've seen one really close game and one really not close game. We're here to recap both of the games and let you know what could possibly be happening for the rest of the series. With that being said, welcome back to Normal Baseball. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And yes, like we said, we are 2 games into the World Series. We've seen a couple fun games, and without further ado, we're just going to get right into them, tell you what happened in each, and, talk a little bit about it.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Thoughts on the first 2 games? Just an overview, nothing specific?
A lot of fun. Looking forward to talking about the games with you.
Okay.
Let's jump right
I was very not specific.
Yeah, no.
Gotcha, love it.
Very broad.
All right, well, with that being said, let's get into Game 1. So, Game 1 in Arlington. Both of these games were in Arlington. To start off the series, the Rangers got started pretty hot. In the bottom of the first, Evan Carter doubled, made it 1-0. The rookie, the kid, having a really great postseason. He started off really nice in this World Series. Doubled, made it 1-0. Then Adolis Garcia, the ALCS MVP, singled to make it 2-0. It was 2-0 until the top of the third. Corbin Carroll with a big triple. In Arlington, a triple is, very impressive. I believe that he also hit it into left center field, which is even more impressive for a triple no matter what park you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then Ketel Marte gave them the lead with a little fielder's choice. They threw home and he was safe. That made it 3-2. Mitch Garver walked with the bases loaded in the bottom of the third to make it 3-3. Then Tommy Pham hit a home run in the top of the fourth and gave the Diamondbacks a 4-3 lead again. They would tag onto that lead in the top of the fifth with a Ketel Marte double because Ketel Marte just can't stop hitting.
Yeah, no one's stopping him.
However, this is where it gets fun because after that Ketel Marte double, there was no scoring until the bottom of the ninth. In a 5-3 game, Corey Seager, former World Series MVP, in that stadium, comes up with a man on first, and what does he do? He crushes a 2-run homer to tie the game 5-5, heading into extra innings in Game 1 of the World Series. I don't know if you can think of a more exciting Game 1 than one that goes into extra innings. And then the bottom of the 11th, who else but Adolis Garcia, the ALCS MVP, hits a opposite field tank and wins Game 1 for the Rangers. The Rangers took it 6-5. Like I said, Adolis Garcia came off his ALCS MVP with a 3-for-4 game, 2 RBIs, one being that walk-off home run. So yeah, this was a very fun game. Very, very fun game.
Oh, for sure. There's no other way to put it other than it was a fun game. The Diamondbacks and the Rangers both showed a lot about how the series is going to go based on just this first game. I mean, who would have thought that the Diamondbacks, basically the second time around the order, would have gotten to Nathan Eovaldi?
Yeah.
Nathan Eovaldi, who we know as, and I think I said this going into the series, big game pitcher, postseason guy who performs. 4 2/3 innings pitched with 6 hits, 5 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, and a homer given up. Not a good look if you're Nathan Eovaldi because we know that he can be a lot better than that.
Yeah, no, he can be. So what happened with Nathan Eovaldi, he just struggled as time went on. He started off with 2 really dominant first 2 innings. I think he struck out the side in the second. He looked really, really sharp. And then once the third inning hit, they started to get to him. Like you said, second time through the order, they just got to him. His final line, he went 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned, 8 strikeouts though. So he was dominating at times. He had the stuff, but they were just jumping on it. They were ready for the stuff. He had it, but they were ready.
Yeah.
The bullpen was locks though. The Rangers bullpen did a really good job of not letting up any runs. They really limited the damage to none after Eovaldi came out, which evidently, or rather ultimately kept him in this game.
Yeah.
And just before we go on a little bit, that Corey Seager home run was fucking electric.
Oh, no other way to put it. That Corey Seager home run, especially when you go back and watch all the different highlights of it, the video with no commentary and just the fan noise, the alternate angle where it's like you see just Corey Seager, and as soon as he makes contact, he lets out a scream. He's screaming, he's shouting, and Brent Rooker on Twitter, another MLB player, an absolute stud in his own right, said, when you let out that kind of emotion, it's when you do exactly what you thought you were going to do.
Oh yeah, he was
Corey
like, I'm
Seager
gonna tie this
needed
game.
to go yard.
Yeah, I think in his head he was saying, I'm gonna tie this game.
game.
I'm gonna tie this game. I'm gonna tie this game, and then he wound up tying the game.
Yeah.
And that's just that picture of him screaming before he even finished his swing was just insane. Like as soon as that ball hit the bat, he was like, "Yep, I did it. I did that. That's me. That's me. I did
part
that."
Of playing in the World Series. I mean,
it was absolutely incredible, and it was a moonshot too.
Yeah.
Like it was just so much emotion was warranted for a home run like that. Like if I hit that kind of home run, I'm like running throughout the entire stadium. I'm forgetting the bases
I'm
exist.
running the concourse.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna I wouldn't stop running. I just keep running the bases.
I will say though that I think in this Texas Rangers lineup, there was only one person that could have done that, and it was Corey Seager.
Yeah. Well, the way Adolis has been playing.
No, I
don't
sorry.
know. Adolis following up his ALCS.
Corey Seager was
just
the
as
only
hot.
one getting a hit off of Paul Sewald.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. Paul Sewald, this is his first earned run of the postseason. He pitched 8 innings with no earned runs before that.
Yeah.
He looked really sharp in the whole, all of the playoffs after that. But then they finally got to him. It was his first blown save of the play. Well, of course it was his first blown save if it was his first earned run. But, this is something that we really haven't seen from Paul Sewald.
He looked really sharp even in that at-bat against Corey Seager. It's just that Corey Seager is one of the best hitters on the face of the earth.
I mean, say what you want.
Fastball up and in, not too many people are turning on that.
Say what you want, but a fastball up in the zone,
It was in too.
In that situation. Yeah, but it was barely in. It wasn't like in on the hands,
No,
that's a gettable 2-ball. A 94 mile an hour fastball up in the zone. Corey Seager's hitting that every time.
Yeah, I think Corey Seager's the only one that's hitting that.
Yeah. It was first pitch too.
Yeah, that was just an amazing occurrence of events, and I do want to go backtrack a little bit to what we were talking about before. In the unsung hero of the game, honestly, was the Rangers bullpen.
Yep.
Which, if you told me, when the postseason started, hey, the Rangers bullpen is going to be the reason why they're raising the World Series trophy, I'd be like, you're an idiot, you're a moron. But now, I've come to kind of expect it.
Yes, 6 1/3.
This game 1 performance from their bullpen, especially Jose Leclerc, who 2 innings in relief is not an easy thing for a guy of his caliber.
One of them in extras too.
One of them in extras,
didn't even know he would be pitching in the 10th.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the lead at that point.
That was insane.
Yeah, I mean this bullpen, 6 1/3 of shut down baseball, and we know what the Diamondbacks can do on the offensive side of the ball, as we saw in Game 2, which we'll talk about. But being able to limit that damage, kept them in this game. It's the reason they won this game, and I agree with you, kind of an unsung hero. And obviously, again, like you said before the playoffs, who would have thought that the Rangers bullpen would be the unsung hero of Game 1 of the World Series? Not me, I'll tell you that. It was also the first Game 1 walk-off. I don't know, I think just first Game 1 walk-off home run since the Kirk Gibson home run, which is pretty cool. Been a while since we've seen a Game 1 walk-off. It was just a fun game.
Well, dare I say, even after this Game 1, it feels like it's been a while since we've had such an evenly matched.
Well, that's been the problem.
First game.
That's been the problem with the postseason, this year's postseason. Especially early. There were no close matchups in the division series or the championship or the wild card series. Once we got to the championship series, we started to see some more close games. But
I'd trade that for a close World Series.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying there's been a lack of close games. There's been a lack of these walk-off type moments in this year's playoffs. So once we got to the championship series, it kind of took off and running. But again, like you said, we haven't really seen it in a game one environment. So just getting off to a game one win, getting that 1-0 series lead is huge. And that's what the Rangers did. And I think I'm ready to get into game two, to be honest, so that we could continue. Actually, I have one more thing, unless you have something before.
I do too, but go ahead.
No. Go. This should be the last thing of game one.
The one thing that I did want to comment about was, although the Diamondbacks lost this game, like, yes, the Rangers got to Zach Gallen early and all that. Gallen still settled in, and I think he did okay after the first couple innings. You know, they score, what was it? Rangers only scored one in the third inning, and then after that, Gallen had two, like, shutdown innings, which I think the Rangers did what the Rangers do best, and it's jump on a pitcher before they can even know where they're playing tonight. And that's what happened with Zach Gallen, but I still think that if he was able to control himself a little bit more in the beginning of the game, then it'd be a completely different game. We would be talking about a completely different game. And this was such a close game that even though they lost, I think the Diamondbacks should feel good that they played this type of baseball and almost won if it were not for Adolis postseason performer Garcia.
Well, if it weren't for Corey Seager,
yes,
it wouldn't
even
gotten to him. I think, this is a feel-good game for the Diamondbacks because, look, you lost game one, but look, you can head into game two knowing, we were right there within one run. We were 1 out away or whatever. We were almost won this game, and especially with the way game two came out, they had a good reason to feel good about game one, especially because it was on the road. They didn't lose out on a home field advantage game in this way. If you lost a home field advantage game in this fashion, that's pretty bad. But on the road, doing what they did was pretty good. I agree. It was impressive. Look good from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to, just last thing of game one, is we did make some predictions on the firsts of the series. The first stolen base for the free taco. We both guessed Corbin Carroll, and we were wrong. It was Ketel Marte who got America free tacos with the first steal of the World Series. Thank you, Ketel Marte.
Thank you.
What is that, Tuesday?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just going to go over
free taco. Free taco.
Yeah.
First home run. You got it. You guessed Tommy Pham.
Tommy Pham, baby.
And Tommy Pham hit the first home run of the World Series. I guessed Corey Seager. I really thought he was going to hit a home run in his first at-bat.
It looked like it.
But it's fine. He backdated it to the 9th inning. I honestly prefer that 9th inning home run over a first inning. So
there's not too many things in baseball that I would take over that home run.
But yeah, you got it on the nose.
I did.
First home run was Tommy Pham.
Tommy the Slot.
Then we have first bullpen arm used. We were both on the right track. We both guessed a Diamondbacks reliever. I guessed Joe Mantiply. Yeah. You guessed Kevin Ginkel.
Ginkel.
The
Gink man.
It was actually Ryan Thompson.
Nelson.
Nope, Ryan Thompson.
Is it Thompson?
So we were both wrong, but right after Ryan Thompson pitched, it was Mantiply, and then right after Mantiply was Ginkel. So we were both wrong. I was a little less wrong than you were. I was an inning less wrong than you were.
All right, let's not cherry pick right now.
And then that's it for now. We can get to game two to get to the rest of those predictions.
Yeah.
Do we want to get to game two?
Let's jump right into it.
Game two of the World Series. The Texas Rangers with the 1-0 lead, feeling good about themselves, staying in Arlington before they head to Arizona and give up the home field advantage for 3 games. Scoring didn't get started till the top of the 4th inning. It was a little bit of a pitcher's duel in the first 3.
Which was fun.
Yeah, it was a very fun first 3 innings, but the 4th inning, the Diamondbacks struck Gabby Moreno with a solo homer, an absolute bomb to left center field, made it 1-0 Diamondbacks. And then after a Tommy Pham double, Lourdes Gurriel drove him in with a single, made it 2-0 Diamondbacks. It stayed 2-0 till the bottom of the 5th when the Rangers got one back with a Mitch Garver home run. That would be their only run of this game. as in the top of the 7th, Evan Longoria singled, Corbin Carroll singled, made it 4-1. And then in the top of the 8th, Ketel Marte singled, made it 6-1. That was kind of the dagger, the knife in the heart type of thing. And then right after, Corbin Carroll singled to extend the Diamondbacks lead to 7-1. And they went on to win the game 9-1. Emmanuel Rivera, 2-run single. That cannot be not mentioned. Big shout out to Emmanuel Rivera doing it in the World Series. Yeah, and the Diamondbacks took game 2 9-1. Pretty dominant win from the Diamondbacks in game 2. I think, you talked about, if we're talking just general, you talk about the Diamondbacks should have felt pretty good after game 1. They made it close. The Diamondbacks are probably riding so high in this game, too. You just dominated in Arlington. You're going home now on Monday for game 3. And, if you're the Rangers, you don't have that flip side of, we lost, but we still made it close and we still looked really good. You don't have that. You lost 9-1 at home. There weren't too many positives. The Rangers had 4 hits in this game. Before we talk about pitching performances, I mean, just 4 hits is not cutting it for the World Series. Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about the pitching performances?
So let's just say it right off the top of the bat, right here, right now. Merrill Kelly masterclass. It is hard to pitch in big games. I think we both know that. No matter what the situation is, whether it be Sunday Night Baseball or, hey, it's like, let's send my team back home with a 1-1 lead with a 1-1 tie in the World Series. Merrill Kelly, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 9 Ks, was dominant.
Oh, yeah.
Dominant. The 1 earned run being that home run off of the bat of Mitch Garver.
That was really his only mistake.
Yeah, his only mistake pitch all game. And then if you go to the other side, Jordan Montgomery, who made it 3 innings with no runs.
Yeah.
Sort of got exposed, and that might be because he did pitch in Game 7 of the ALCS for a little while. Does that mess with the pitcher's rotation? I don't know for sure.
I don't think so.
My assumption is it does.
I don't think so. I mean, it was just, he had how many dominant starts to start the postseason? It was his first not dominant start of the postseason. And he gave up 4 earned, but it's not like he got, manhandled. He pitched into the 7th, so it's, right? He pitched into the 7th, I believe. He went 6+. 6+ innings.
He recorded an out in the 7th inning.
No, I don't think he recorded an out in the 7th, but he still pitched in the 7th, so that's where that 4 earned runs came from. Yeah. One of the earned runs, he didn't even give up the hit that drove in the run. So
he put the runner on.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying. So while it wasn't a dominant start, I don't think it was blow up. I don't think it was
It was not the worst thing that could have happened.
And the game 7 pitching, game 7, maybe that does a little bit just because you're pitching, but it's not like he pitched what, an inning and a half, 2/3, something like that. But I don't think it was that crazy. He wouldn't have pitched in that game 7 if they were worrying about it that much.
I did say they gave him extra film. They gave the Diamondbacks extra film, and guess what? The Diamondbacks took that.
I don't think that's it.
No, but let me tell you. The broadcast even mentioned this, and I was watching the game, and I had realized this as well. The Diamondbacks saw 40-plus pitches before having a swing and miss, which is really impressive off of this postseason's version of Jordan Montgomery, who has been very dominant and who has been able to get guys to chase outside the zone and chase balls that dip under the zone. The Diamondbacks really disciplined themselves and took the pitches that they knew were not going to touch the zone and would make contact with anything else. And I think that's also really highlighted by, if you go back and watch the Gabriel Moreno at bat, it looked like he was seeing beach balls. He had 4 foul balls in a row, and you could kind of just tell that something big was going to happen. And that something big was a Gabby Moreno home run right into the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, Gabby Moreno's impressed me a lot this postseason. I talked about his at-bat against Aaron Nola in Game 7 of that NLCS. Yeah. This was a very similar at-bat. He was just battling. And, the longer the at-bat goes, the more in favor of the hitter it is. Yeah. So that's just kind of how they were rolling. And I was gonna get there as well, he wasn't fooling them. Jordan Montgomery was not fooling the Diamondbacks last night.
Not at all.
He could not make them miss. He had no strikeouts, which in 6 innings for a guy like Jordan Montgomery is something's not going great, because he is a guy that, will get the off speed, like you said, down and away. That curveball, the amount of people that struck out in just this season alone, just the postseason alone, and the Diamondbacks were able to discipline themselves. Like you said, I don't know if the extra film, but they were definitely watching that Jordan Montgomery film, and they said, lay off those pitches. Find a good pitch. Eventually, he'll throw you something in the zone that's just very easily hittable. Yeah. And that's what they found all game.
I do want to say another thing about the struggles of the Rangers pitching in this game was they did not record a single strikeout until there was 1 out in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
It took them 8 1/3 inning to record a strikeout, which, if you want to win a World Series game with the way that they've been winning postseason games, you cannot go that long without just blowing a fastball by somebody.
Again, that's mostly just the Jordan Montgomery thing, because he pitched 6 innings. The one inning that he didn't pitch was split between Andrew Heaney and Dane Dunning. So it mostly goes back to that Monty thing. You can't have that swing and miss stuff in your arsenal and them not swing and miss, because that means that they're just gonna take. That means that they're just gonna take all the balls. He throws it down and away outside of the zone, or down outside of the zone, that curveball. Instead of swinging and going for it, they're saying, we'll take the free ball. If you're gonna give us a ball in the count, sure, we'll take it. So Diamondbacks looked really good. A couple other things in this game. I just want to say this, read this quote, this maybe legendary quote soon. The DBacks acquired outfielder Tommy Pham and cash considerations from the Mets for infielder Jeremy Rodriguez. Let's give a round of applause to Jeremy Rodriguez. Because Tommy Pham went off in this game, and he's gone off all playoffs for the Diamondbacks. Pham went 4 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 runs scored in this game. Lot of records set for Tommy Pham in the sense of he is now tied for the 3rd most 4+ hit games in postseason history. He's tied with Albert Pujols. He's just gone off this postseason. It was one of those trade deadline acquisitions that you look back at and say, at the time, we weren't salivating over it, and we weren't saying, oh my God, this is really, really good. But now, that's what we're doing.
That was really good.
Because looking back, what happens if the Diamondbacks don't acquire Tommy Pham? I mean, I don't know.
I don't get my prediction right.
You don't get your first home run prediction right. We don't know who would have hit the first homer of the World Series in there. I don't know. I just think it reminds me of the 2021 Braves in the Soler, Jock Peterson type pickup. At the time we were like, and Eddie Rosario. At the time we were like, oh,
what does this do?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. That's pretty cool. And then as the season went on and as the postseason came, we were like, oh my God. How did they know that these guys would be playing like this for them in the postseason, be playing like this in the World Series? And that's exactly what Tommy Pham has done. I think he loves this team, and he's one of the most fun guys to watch on this team just because how dominant he is day in and day out. I mean,
for sure.
The guy's performing insane.
And also, he's just such a team player. He was
he loves this team. You can tell.
So he was 4 for 4, and he had the opportunity to go up at bat and be the first player in World Series history to go 5 for 5. Instead, he decided that he wanted Jace Peterson to get an at-bat in the World Series. And people were criticizing it at first, but I can only imagine how much that means to every ball player to know, like, hey, I'm going to stand in the box on the world's biggest stage for baseball.
Yeah.
And I think that meant a lot to Jace Peterson and Tommy Pham really showing how much he cares about these guys on the roster and not just about his personal accolades.
Yeah, it's a big, let's get people reps. Especially at that point in the game, it was what? Was it even, I think it was 9-1 at that point, At that point in the game, you're saying, we're in the World Series, yes, and we want every run we could possibly get, yes, but how many times are we going to get to the World Series? Let's get guys reps. Let's let this guy get an at-bat in the World Series. Because Jace Peterson, to be quite honest, I don't know if they planned on really playing him unless something went wrong. So, to have one of these blowout games where you could just get guys in is pretty big. Pavin Smith pinch hit in this game. Emmanuel Rivera got a hit.
Well, that's been their...
He's been switching with Longo, I know that, but Pavin Smith hasn't really played much in the postseason.
If you watched it, Pavin Smith actually didn't even get to bat in place of Longoria because they then brought in a lefty. And then Emmanuel Rivera went up. They did a double switch.
Yeah, that ninth inning game was already over by then, so I wasn't locked on the TV at that point. Especially because Diamondbacks had runners on too, so I was like, oh well, here comes more runs. So I wasn't locked on, but anyway.
So just to tell you, you are very right about that whole "here comes more runs" thing. The Diamondbacks drove 6 for 14 with runners in scoring position, and 7 out of their 9 runs scored came with 2 outs. So if you want to be a Rangers fan right now and try to look at the positives, you almost got out of every inning unscathed.
You just got to finish out that inning.
Yeah, you just got to figure out how to close out that inning. But there was a lot of fight in this Diamondbacks lineup.
There was. And fight works in different ways. The small ball, and then obviously you had the home run with Moreno. But yeah, this small ball Diamondbacks team, we've seen them all year. They don't need to be hitting the big home runs to score off you. They will be that pesky team. Not to mention, they didn't even really need to steal any bases in this game. Their first stolen base came from Geraldo Perdomo, and that was their only stolen base of the game. So they weren't even creating chaos on the base pass like they're known for. They were just creating movement on the base paths. The just circular movement.
Yeah.
And they were it was literally in and out. In and out. I'll come up, I'll hit it. You come up, you hit it. I'll come up, you hit it. Just one of those type, next man up. And it really worked out. They dominated this game.
The game plan
dominated.
is 90 feet at a time.
Yes,
don't
sir.
try to round the bases in one straight go. 90 feet at a time, and I think the Diamondbacks took that in this game and ran with it, quite literally. Yeah,
and obviously talking more about Merrill Kelly's performance, to shut down this Rangers team in this playoffs is a tough task. And Merrill Kelly did it with relative ease.
He looked so dominant.
Again, besides that Garver thing, he was the 10th pitcher in World Series history to record at least 9 strikeouts without a walk. So, one of the dominant pitching performances in World Series history.
Yes.
And especially for the Diamondbacks, the Diamondbacks walked 10 Rangers in game 1. And then in game 2, for Merrill Kelly to come out and not walk a single batter in 7 innings is absolutely huge. It's detrimental.
Yes.
They didn't walk a single batter till the 9th inning. Till the bottom of the 9th inning. So I think that was big to, shift the narrative for the Diamondbacks of, wow, you're walking a lot of guys. You're giving them so many free bases, it's not even funny. To, they couldn't even get an extra base hit in this game, aside from that Mitch Garver homer. They had 3 singles. That's it.
Yeah.
They could not get hard contact.
Yeah. And the most impressive feat about it was that walk that was issued by, I believe, Luis Frias was to Marcus Semien, who Marcus Semien then, with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, took second base for free, essentially. That at-bat, that last at-bat of the game, was the only at-bat the Rangers had in Game 2
with a runner in
scoring position.
Yep.
Which is just that. Again, that's not how you win a postseason game. That's not how you win a World Series game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. They just couldn't get the hard contact. They had no extra base hits aside from that homer, and the homer doesn't put a runner in scoring position. It scores the runner. They also went 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position because right after Marcus Semien advanced, I guess he stole second, but it wasn't a steal because they didn't throw down. So it wasn't a steal.
They counted it as
it was
indifference.
That's what that is. Yeah. If they don't throw down, it's not a steal, pretty much.
I would have thrown down.
For most of the situations. But yeah, and then, right after that, Adolis Garcia walked. So, 2 runners on, I mean, 2 outs.
Too far.
A homer, man, a little bloop, another bloop, I don't know.
Too far.
But, no, Mitch Garver lined out to end the game.
Rocket.
I will say.
What was it, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that went in?
Yeah,
and it went right to Emmanuel Rivera. I can only imagine how fast that was going.
No, that's been a theme in these 2 World Series games. The defense has been immaculate.
Spectacular.
Amazing defense. I mean, that Josh Young, the diving play in the 4th inning, I think it was, that was beautiful.
Beautiful play.
And obviously, how could you forget that Christian Walker barehanded play?
Bounced
off first base. He was going this way, he shifted his body weight the other way, grabbed it with his bare hand. I mean, that was an amazing play. The defense has been here in this World Series so far.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for that home run robbery, as I said earlier, before this series started. I am waiting for this home run robbery.
Yeah, and it's even more fun because, if you see sloppy defense in the World Series, especially you see a 9-1 final and you're like, oh, were there a couple errors that gave the Diamondbacks some runs? No, it was just clean baseball. And it was the same for the Rangers. They played clean baseball. Defense was not an issue. It was just, the better team in this game won that game. You know what I mean? On this day, who was the better team? And it was the Diamondbacks.
It was the Diamondbacks. So
we were both also wrong in our best pitching performance pick because we both picked Jordan Montgomery in Game 2. Mm-hmm. And while we don't know how the rest of the series will go, Merrill Kelly was definitely the better pitcher in that game. So if he wasn't the best pitcher in that one game, he can't possibly be the best pitcher in that series. So that prediction was wrong for us both, too.
Amen.
If we want to look ahead to Game 3, Game 3 will be in Arizona on Monday night, and it will be Max Scherzer and Brandon Pfaadt. I am very excited for this matchup because you have a veteran in Max Scherzer who has struggled a little bit in the postseason, and then you have a rookie in Brandon Pfaadt who has been absolutely electric in the postseason. And now they're meeting in the World Series. It's the classic tale of, will Max Scherzer's veteran experience have the edge over the hot stretch of Brandon Pfaadt? So I think this is going to be a really fun matchup. I'm really excited for this one. Lewis, what do you think about Game 3?
Scherzer going back to pitch where his career started.
Yep, in Arizona.
In the World Series, which will be a lot of fun to see. I do think that I have to give the edge to the Rangers simply because you lose 9-1 at home. There's going to be a sour taste in your mouth, and you're going to want to go out there and, hey, you want to beat us in our stadium? We're going to beat you in your stadium type of thing, which I hope makes for a very, very good matchup. I think that Scherzer is going to have his way a little bit more with this Arizona lineup, but I also think that Brandon Pfaadt is going to have his way with this Texas Rangers lineup.
Yeah, I mean,
this
I don't know.
Like it's lined up to be a pitcher's duel because Scherzer, we know, does not suck for so long, and we know so far this postseason that Brandon Pfaadt has been very, very good. So I want to see them kind of like when worlds collide, and there's a happy median where can we have both go 6 innings with 5 strikeouts each? I'm
down for a pitcher's duel. We have not seen a pitcher's duel yet in the World Series.
I mean, we got 3 innings of one, but give me like a full.
No, that's not a pitcher's duel.
That's what I said. We only got 3 innings of one.
We didn't get one.
But anyways,
I'm excited to see Scherzer. Again, I kind of agree with you. I do think Scherzer and the Rangers have the edge in this one, just because Scherzer is a veteran at the end of the day, and Pfaadt is a rookie. And with this Rangers lineup, I think they would be able to get to an inexperienced rookie, rattle him a little bit. I feel like once he, if Pfaadt gives up a couple runs, he might be a little rattled. I know you're shaking your head, but you're also rooting for the Diamondbacks very heavily in this series, so taking it with a grain of salt.
I'm happy with no matter what team wins.
I'm not saying he's going to get rocked. I'm just saying if they get to him a little bit, I think he might falter. I'm interested to see if Scherzer has a short leash, because we saw, obviously, in Game 7 In the ALCS, he had a short leash, but that's just because it was Game 7, and you got to limit the damage as much as possible. But I'm wondering how it will work if Scherzer, is in the third inning and he's given up 3 or 4 runs already. Are they gonna try to use their bullpen for 6 innings of this game? They could, but it would suck for the rest of the series because they have 2 more games after this one, 2 games in a row. All 3 of these games are on back-to-back days. So I think they wouldn't want to, and I think they're really counting on Scherzer to put together a good start, at least 5 or 6 innings of, 2 to 3 run baseball, or less, obviously.
And if he doesn't put together a good start and the Rangers wind up needing to use their very deep bullpen, it's almost like Bruce Bochy and the Rangers are kind of waving a soft white flag on Game 4. Because to go into then the game the next day without your A-stuffed bullpen, we've seen it before in this postseason. It doesn't look as good, and the Rangers struggle when it comes to that back end of their bullpen that might not be as high leverage, might not have the experience or the stuff to get through these difficult-to-get-through lineups.
I don't think raising a soft white flag is a thing.
I'm creating the narrative.
I don't think raising a soft white flag is a thing in the World Series. If Scherzer struggles, they will be bringing in their bullpen arms. But they will leave some of their high leverage guys for the next day.
Even if it's a close game?
Yes, I think so. No, you know what? No, I don't think so. I think that they'll use them because they can use them the next day if it's a close game too. Guys can pitch 2 days in a row. That's not a thing that doesn't happen ever. Okay. You'd have maybe a slight issue for Game 5 then, because then you're talking 3 days in a row. But I don't think they'd use all the same guys on back-to-back days. I think there's definitely a route. I don't think that it's too much of a worry. The only worry obviously would be if you use a guy like Jose Leclerc in which again doesn't even have to do with Scherzer's performance. He's their closer. If you use Jose Leclerc in game 3 and then you use him in Game 4, what happens if it's a close game in Game 5? Are you going to use your closer for 3 days in a row? That's a thing that is a team-to-team kind of decision type thing because, in the playoffs, pitchers will say, I can pitch. Come on, I'll pitch every single day if you need me to, which, honestly, there is something in that because the season's about to end.
Yeah,
pitch as much as you can. So I don't think it's too much of an issue for the Rangers, even if Scherzer were to go short in this game. Like you said, they have a deep bullpen. I don't think they're going to be using all of their high leverage guys every single day. They might use a guy like Dane Dunning for a couple innings. Heaney even is possible. Just to eat up a couple innings. And at the first sign of trouble, they could take them out. So I think there's certainly different routes the Rangers can take, and I don't think waving a white flag in the World Series is ever a thing.
Soft white.
I don't care. I don't think white.
Wait.
I don't think white flags exist in the World Series. No team gives up in the World Series. In the sense of before the game even starts, we're waving the white flag. Are you kidding? I don't care if it's a soft. I don't care. It could be a hard white flag. No team before a game starts is like, yeah, we probably won't win this one. No team does that. I don't care. You're just a Diamondbacks fan. He's just rooting for the Diamondbacks.
Let me create my narrative.
Take it with a grain of salt. That's all I really have to say. I'm excited for Game 3 and what comes as they head back to Arizona.
Yeah, Game 3 will be fun. Will the series go back to Arlington? Call it now.
Yeah, Rangers in 6.
Okay. I agree with you.
I don't think any team's winning all 3 of these games in Arizona.
Okay, but if a team does,
the series will be over.
The series will be over.
Yeah.
It'll look really freaking cool if a team does win it in Arizona.
We'll see.
Looking forward to Game 3. Hopefully, we'll be back soon to break it all down and talk about our opinions. And, let us know what you guys thought about the first 2 games in the comments or wherever you can find us.
Yeah, let us know what you thought. We would love to hear from you guys. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. That helps us out a lot. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure to follow the podcast. We thank you guys for listening, watching, and all that fun stuff, fun jazz. We will see you guys in the next one. Let's go baseball. Let's go World Series. Apiece.